pushback, SEC, a lot of lawyers, opinions, and everybody's saying the SEC will appeal and that maybe the Judge Torres decision is actually based on false knowledge or that it's a crappy decision or whatever. But what they're not talking about is that even if the SEC appeals, we're talking about a year and a half down the road.
Oh, I think they can't even appeal until next year. And then it would be a couple of years. And, of course, Ripple XRP would drag that out forever. They would, because you can go into court and you could say, oh, the lawyer has a previous engagement. Give me 3 months. They'll drag that out. It might be 3 years. And it'll be a different administration, different chair, different rules. By then Congress might have acted, so this is kind of a done deal. And also it's sort of like, if this becomes the law of the land and you see lots and lots of exchanges trading XRP, which we probably will and we should see, then it's even harder for a court later on to say, no, this court was wrong. I'm going to reverse the decision. So it's kind of hopefully a done deal. And hopefully I do agree we are seeing this clarity. It's in a good way too. I mean, if we come out of this with something that says, hey, you've got to register or be an exempt offering under the rules when you issue it using Reg D or whatever, and then once it trades, if it doesn't continue to meet the criteria of being a security, it's not a security. I mean, that's pretty good. That would be kind of a good victory. I mean, it'd be kind of cool if you could, and then maybe it's a small win for the SEC too. They can make you fill out the paperwork when you first sell it, and then once it's out there, you don't have to continue. Because the thing is, and a lot of people don't realize this, this come on in and register thing doesn't work. Because, something like XRP can't comply. They can't be a publicly traded company. They don't have quarterly reports, statements of beneficial ownership, audited boards, all of these kind of things. And they couldn't do it even if they wanted to. Neither could Ethereum or a lot of other projects.
This is how we do it. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, people are starting to realizing the magnitude of their incompetence when it comes to XRP, am I right? The entire Bitcoin maxi space is going to have a jaw drop of a moment when they realize that XRP is coming for the throne. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As that was from Bruce Fenton, one of the most vocal SEC critics. And he's letting us know exactly what I discussed in my video yesterday. An appeal from the SEC is very unlikely because it will further cement their legacy of not being able to regulate this crypto space and not being able to have the confusion in the market that they have currently. And at the same time, it would take so long for an appeal to take place that a new administration would be in place. Regs by Congress would be in place. And everything would be so convoluted against the SEC that it'll come to a point where it's not even worth it. Ladies and gentlemen, we won. XRP is free. And Ripple themselves says U.S. banks will want to use XRP after a partial victory against the SEC. And right here, we have to remember that in just 2 days, FEDNOW goes live here in the United States. And what we see on the screen right now is over 100 banks launching with FEDNOW on July 20th. Will XRP and XLM be used to facilitate the blockchain aspect of their FEDNOW payment system? Not right now. But there will be a time in the future where FEDNOW has to head into cross-border territory. And that's when I believe XRP and XLM will thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no coincidence that the resolution of this lawsuit happened when it did. And here we are right now correctly positioned with an XRP price pump, consolidation, and another leg up in store for us. I am so bullish on this digital asset, it's not even funny. And all of you should be as well. And nothing made me as happy as watching Gary Gensler squirm with his little Mr. Burns looking ass self, as he understands that he's the biggest loser. from this XRP case resolution. Gary looks weak, and the XRP army is exuding maximum strength.
How does the federal court ruling last week in the Ripple case impact your stance toward digital asset regulation? Does it inject urgency into the need for federal legislation to clarify regulatory oversight of this industry?
Look, our mission remains exactly what I spoke about earlier, about investor protection, promoting capital formation, and the markets in the middle. This is a recent decision, just a handful of days ago. We were pleased from that decision, recognizing the importance of protecting investors on the institutional investors in that, and that the court movement with regard to fair notice, and while disappointed on what they said about retail investors, we're still looking at it and assessing that opinion.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's make something very clear. Gary Gensler is the master of He seems squirmish, and he knows he's currently in a position of weakness, especially now with a Congress that is Republican. If they pass laws that even further weaken his grasp and the crypto market, not only will he have been a failure at the CFTC, but his reign at the SEC will have been an abomination to his career. And nobody's more bullish on the demise of Gary Gensler's career than I am. Trust me. Now, that being said, he makes a fair point on fair notice. And that's something I do want to discuss. That fair notice defense has gotten weaker after this Ripple case. And I think that's not something many people talk about. I think that could be a precedent that will work against other cryptos in the future. And I'll let the community lawyers like John Deaton and Jeremy Hogan take the reins on that one. But at the very least, I do want the community to be very well aware so they can ask further questions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, something I want to point out to all of you is that the number one indicator I've warned you all about that heavily correlates towards our success has been the DXY, and it's been plummeting recently. Crypto and the DXY have an inversely proportional relationship. In 2022, while the DXY was going parabolic, crypto was tanking. And in 2023, as it's been crashing, crypto has been gaining some price action. I do believe we still have some positive price action in store for us, as I've been warning about. But what I'll say is this. Never before in our lives have we had such an opportunity before us. XRP has full-blown clarity. US banks are being stated by Ripple as being on standby ready to launch. An SEC appeal is being stated to be weak as hell. Gary Gensler literally looks like a bitch. Forgive my French, but let me spell it for you in plain English. We're gonna make so much money this next cycle. We will be the envy of the crypto market. I can't stress that enough. I'm 100% confident all the pain and tribulation we've gone through is gonna be well worth it. And our net worth will multiply more than many of us even expected. It's been an absolute honor to be one of the leaders on this journey with every single one of you. And today, for the first time ever, I'm meeting up with a blockchain backer to further analyze this market, get down to the nitty-gritty, pinpoint exactly what we need to know and what we need to do in the charts and with the fundamentals. Because we can never be wrong again. In 2022, we had a pretty bad year. But 2023 and beyond is when we make our life-changing wealth. Our collaboration will be posted right here on YouTube tomorrow. And I hope every single one of you tune in for that one, as it's going to be a great moment for the entire community. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. And to cap off this video for today, I'm going to leave you with another clip of Gary Gensler on an interview with Yahoo. He gives a lot of indication that he knows he messed up. And I can't stress to all of you how proud I am at our monstrous victory. Now guys, I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Switching gears, I want to ask you about crypto.
There you go, Jennifer.
You didn't think I was going to let you off the hook, Chair Gensler, did you? All right, so last week we got a major ruling from the Southern District of New York on Ripple. How does this ruling change your approach, if at all, your abilities when it comes to regulating crypto and specifically crypto exchanges?
Look, our approach has been the same. It's about protecting investors, facilitating those who want to raise money, and the markets in the middle. And that's true whether it's in other parts of the securities markets or the parts of the crypto markets that are securities. And in terms of the decision, we're still taking a look at it. We're pleased with how the courts addressed itself to that a token for institutional investors is a security, how they address themselves to fair notice, disappointed in other aspect about retail investors, but we're still taking a look at that and considering it.
Coinbase is already relisting Ripple. A lot of these crypto exchanges feel like this was a real win for them, that the tokens that they list on their exchanges are not securities based on this ruling. So what do you say to them? Are you concerned about potential precedent that this could set, especially for other charges that the SEC has brought against other crypto exchanges?
Look, again, Jennifer, you're asking good questions, but there's ongoing litigation with regard to a number of these crypto platforms, and these crypto platforms are commingling a number of services that you've seen on these crypto platforms where they could well be trading against their customers, bundling up a bunch of services that we would not allow in any other parts of our capital markets. So the investing public comes first. That's how our securities laws were first written. Companies raising money in the markets as well, and really protecting them and protecting the integrity of the markets. But I'm not able to go into any ongoing enforcement matters.
So it sounds like it's still sort of an open question. I wonder, there's been some confusion that's been generated from this. Does it make you reconsider writing customized rules for crypto?
Again, it's too early. This was like 3 business days ago. But I would note, the agency has rules on the books right now. It's about full, fair, and truthful disclosure if you're raising money from the public and the public's anticipating profit based on the efforts of others. That's why Roosevelt called it the Truth in Securities Act. There's rules on the books about what it means to be a securities exchange, what it means to be a broker, an investment advisor. There are rules on the books. We've also put forward or even adopted rules with regard to broker-dealers in this space called special purpose broker-dealers. We put forward proposals with regard to the safeguarding of those assets, or even exchanges in what's called the decentralized finance space. So we've done some of that, but again, we'll continue to consider.
Republicans on the House Financial Services Committee have put forth a discussion draft on a framework to regulate crypto. And within that proposal, they're looking at laying out guidelines that would direct which firms would need to register with the SEC. They would have you write customized rules. And I think the biggest point is that they would have a decentralization test to decipher whether a token is a security, a commodity, or both. I'm curious what you think about these principles, especially the decentralization test.
Jennifer, we are asked by members of Congress, both the House and the Senate, on a regular basis to look at their various pieces of legislation, and we generally give them our feedback directly rather than through the interviews on the.
So decentralization, good idea, bad idea in general?
Yeah, I'm going to again. I'm going to save our comments on any draft legislation for our members that are asking us directly. But this field, the crypto field, Satoshi Nakamoto writes an 8-page paper, and it was at the core of that paper was this concept of moving value on the internet without a central intermediary, a central bank or a commercial bank, but moving value on the internet. Whomever Satoshi was. This field is actually quite centralized. Around each of the tokens, there tends to be a group of entrepreneurs, and you can find a website and you can look, and there's maybe a Twitter account and somebody that might even have a name of a CEO or CTO, Chief Technology Officer. Around the platforms, they're quite centralized as well. So this is a field that is not immune to the economics of finance. Since in antiquity, finance tends towards some centralization, and that's what we've seen happen in the crypto field as well.
The first half of this year was marked by more than a dozen enforcement actions by the SEC when it comes to the crypto space. Should we expect more of the same in the second half of the year? What can we expect from the SEC when it comes to regulating crypto in the second half of the year?
I think over the last 6 years, we at the SEC have brought, settled, or litigated somewhere close to 150 actions in the crypto field. So I don't know what the next 6 months will hold, and I'm not at liberty to speak about any one enforcement action. But we're really focused on protecting the integrity of the markets, the investing public, capital formation, as I said earlier, and trying to bring greater compliance within this field.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple, who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple, a former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple, leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple, who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple, 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple, 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors, former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, former business director at Swift, former Swift board member, former CFO of PayPal, former head of the DTCC, former chief business officer at Uber, former VP of Amazon, and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple, who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.